we've gone from a blob to a nymph, and now we're going to a fab. But we're not going to be going anywhere near any frits again. You'll be glad to hear. So obviously fabs are great flies if you want to do washing line techniques. So it's just basically a fly with a foam in it. You can use it to just fish it on the surface, or you can use it to suspend a team of nymphs, so you can string them out on the washing line. This is a size 12 blob X hook. Scott Nellins at Fly Fish North sells these. Unfortunately, they don't do labels with the hook, so you've got to put your own label in it. But they're a really good sort of fab or blob hook, because they're quite light. They're really, really sharp, but they're not too heavy. So they're perfect for a fab because they're strong but light. So we will get some brown thread on this. Nothing spandangled too much for this. So I shall just get some thread on the hook. And then we're going to get our foam. Obviously foam mast blob, we need some foam. So this is just some brown foam. This is like 6mm booby cord brown foam. Excuse the state of my hands, by the way. And I want to cut it down lengthways. I basically just want to take a sliver off. I don't want to go, I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm not cutting it in half, I'm basically just cutting a sliver off. So we've got a flat underside, and then to create a tying in point, I'll cut a point at the front, and then we're going to tie this in. I'm going to tie this in slightly on towards me, so as it tightens and we're tying it in, it will sort of rotate on top of the hook shank, because foam, as you know, foam has got a bit of a mind of its own when you're trying to tie it in. So we just get this lashed in down towards the bend. So there we go. Just neaten this up, get it all tied in. Right, so we are going to do, again, like I say, this is like a graphemy shrimp type thing, so it's going to be like a hare's eerie pattern. We have got some other sort of very similar Kindle dubbing to last time, but I don't know if you can see, there's like UV fibres in this. It's sort of, the light reflects off the, you can't really see it. But it's got some really nice sort of twinkly UV fibres in there.
Probably. Have you got a daylight setting on that light?
That's probably a good idea. I can turn it down a bit. Oh yeah, you can see it now. Yeah, good thinking. So I want quite a bit of dubbing. I'm going to prepare the dubbing first because we're going to be doing a dubbing loop. So you want to get that to hand first. I might just put a little bit more with that, just to make sure I have got enough. Quite a lot of dubbing, because we're going to be attacking this with a dubbing brush as well, so you'll lose some of it. But this is just a nice fab as well, because it's not, all the other fabs are like, you know, bright fritzy, and you know, so this is just a nice natural one. So there's, I've had a teased it out, so we've got a nice airy bit of dubbing. I'm going to chuck the threads flat, and we're going to get, like I did a dubbing loop pattern last time, and I showed you my dubbing needle with a ball on the end. Well, you've created a blunt needle, haven't you? This just makes it so easy to split the thread. I was convinced, you know, all the time trying with a sharp dubbing needle, you think, oh, that would be so much, but like a ball end, a really blunt dubbing needle just seems to do it so easy. He says no, it's not going to happen now, is it? So basically I just put the thread on my finger and then just rub the ball against the thread. So this is another beauty of using UTC thread, because it's just, see, look, it's sort of stopped, that's as far down as it's going to let me go, which isn't very good. I'll just run some more thread on. But I split it straight away. It was easy. It's just, it was... Right. Just unspin it a bit. Try that again. So I just let the bobbin holder sit for a minute and just see what it does, which way it wants to spin. So it looks pretty unwound. So that's good. So we try again. So I'm just going to hold the thread against my finger, put the ball of the dubbing needle against the thread, give it a little rub. There we go, straight in.
I think you can borrow that from SM Hayne.
This is this is a copter dubbing needle,
Yeah.
which is very nice, but it's 20 quid's worth.
I was going to
So-
say theirs are about 22.
Yeah. So it's not a cheap dubbing needle,
But they're pretty cool.
but it's nice. But or you could just get an ordinary sharp dubbing needle and attack it with a grinder or something and just make it blunt. You know, you could put a ball end on that, really, couldn't you? It's just it's whatever you want to play with, isn't it? But I saw that and I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. So it seems to work really well. So this is a bit of a massive bit of dubbing for the dubbing loop, but we're just going to offer that into our loop and then tease it out. What about 2 inches of dubbing basically? So we're going to lose some of this. So there we go. So I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to spin the thread up. So I'll just support the thread with that finger and clockwise spin. Then all that dubbing's going to get incorporated and spun in that thread. You could just dub it conventionally and then just, you know, really attack it with a Velcro. But doing it this method, it is so much fluffier. It's got so much more movement. You can almost wind it like a hackle. You see it's starting to spin up now. Pardon me. There we go. So, who was it who said messy flies work really well? So we just tease the fibres back. You see this is going to go really fluffy. But you think all that movement in the water. Yeah, that worked out just about right. We are going to lose quite a bit of this. So you could do it with coloured foam or a hot head as well. But it's just a more natural take on a fly that's normally just, you know, bright gaudy fritz or. And then I'm just going to trim the foam to length. Obviously, the longer you cut the foam, the more buoyant it's going to be. But you just get them to where you want it. I've got a little brush in here somewhere. There you go. There's me. Got my dubbing brush, good excuse to have a Magnum ice cream and just stick a bit of Velcro on it. And then we'll just brush that all back. But it's definitely, like I said last time, it's a real revelation to use a blunt needle or a needle with a ball
It's
in it.
counterintuitive, isn't it?
It is. You think that's ridiculous, but until you try it, and then it's. There you go. It's a really nice buggy sort of. Well, looks like a travel paddock, really.
So do you do that one in different colours?
I do it with. I've done it with like orange foam, or with like a hot head.
Or a black?
What, black body or black? Yeah. Anything goes. It's just, you know, colours are optional, aren't they? It's just. But I was just, you know, gearing up for Grapham for like killer shrimpy type patterns, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it's a nice option, something a bit different, and it's got the. You can't really see it if you get it in the right light. They've got the little UV strands in there. I think that comes into its own in clear water. I think, but it's.
Yeah, Graham's been incredibly clear.
Yeah, so hopefully it's another bit of attracting sort of a quality. But